And welcome to another game of Shadow Empire. This one is a 4-player multiplayer game between me and a few other goons from the Something Awful forums. First up, we're just selecting the name, etc., which is an interesting one that I accidentally ran across while looking up some East London crime gangs, and I quite like the name, so we're going to go with that. As you can see, the normal apocalypse went its way, and we enforced it with a strong government, powerful fists, and autocracy. So we are pretty dickish overall. Unsurprisingly, no losses or kills. Chief is dead, long live the chief. And a research bonus for the Zeitgeist, which is good. Quite a short one, but overall, no complaints here. And okay, Rebellion's a bad fate card to start off with. AI is good, so is Scientific Outpost, and 50 points. But as you'll see in a second, we are starting on a tech level 5 start, so it is quite high tech. And the other thing you may have noticed already if you're familiar with Shadow Empire is the ruins. Lots and lots and lots of ruins. The reason for this is, after a fair amount of re-rolling, we managed to generate a planet with a pre-apocalypse population of over 900 million on a relatively small planet. So as you can see, this is my little chunk of it, and all these areas are solid ruins. There's at least 4 or 5 mega city complexes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, several more down there as well. Mega city complexes. And what we've got here, we've got a minor nation and non-aligned forces. So yeah, it looks like we have immediate access to this appears to be farmers, probably farmers, I can't guarantee it, and there's a mega ruins complex up here which is only protected by likely raiders or nomads or something like that. So right from the start, as well as having spawned on top of one, if I just move the units there, a 5 hex ruin. Yeah, we are off to a hell of a start because we have easy access to an enormous amount of metals, rare metals, and hopefully artifacts. No guarantees. If we go look at the Planetology, it's a warm planet, about half a gravity, relatively small, and no tilt. Spins about twice a day, so it must have some pretty funky sleep cycles to the people living here. Extremely wet and warm. It's like, imagine the whole thing is like living in a horrible swamp. Looks like it has its own argon, which is interesting. It has its own species and fairly advanced, well, jellyfish-like alien critters during colonization. As you can see, 918 million, almost completely a surface economy, and universities, Republican divisions, a lot of stuff. As you can see, this is what happens when you get a humongous population. And during the apocalypse, nearly all of them died. But overall, quite a chill world. 70% farmers, raiders and scavengers scattered between it. And there's not even any humongous, well, some nukes, so it's probably going to be a reason about radiation somewhere on the map. And, you know, I haven't actually seen that one before. That's new. I don't know what effect this last one has. So yeah, and with the tech level start, you'll see we have pretty extensive assets already. I'll go for another look. Calvin Spire, which I suppose we should probably rename. I guess I'll name all the cities after East London boroughs. right off we can see we're slightly low on energy. This is larger because of the heavy industry, which we don't immediately need, so that goes down to 25% production. Elsewhere, we have a fair amount of money. We'll sell off some rare earths to get even more. Everything else, actually no, water's not going to be a problem at all for this map. Everything else can stay. Right, so this is the first up. These guys, first order business, are assault infantry. We're equipped with Abraham tanks. So the first thing I always do in a new game is go and look at the design tab, which shows all your starting designs. So what we have here is a decent light tank with a nice structural score. Pretty average artillery. Interestingly named bazookas, who are absolutely awful, but they can be improved. And same for the machine guns and grunts. They have absolutely horrible weapon scores and no armor because, as you can see, it's a breathable atmosphere. They don't have an envirosuit or anything like you do in most games. So infantry are going to be fragile. The buggy is also very good, apart from the incredibly poor score in the engine, but that can be improved in further versions. Cool. So yeah, actually this is good because the key ones being the light tanks and the buggy are decent, and it's quite a good truck as well. 20% move mod. So yeah, we're all good there. Let's get this going. We want to conquer this Liberty Nation, not for long, as fast as possible. So we dispatch the assault infantry brigade to go and do that. Elsewhere, this is rocket organs. They can be very quickly assigned to the assault infantry. I won't send them out ahead because they're very, very vulnerable. And there's one tip for people who play Shadow Empire, is look for roads out of your capital at the start. Roads always lead to cities. So let's get this guy getting ahead, clearing the hexes from the road, removing that little malice they give to action points. Okay, I suspect that there's going to be quite a lot of forest. Yes, there is. As you can see, oh, it's heavy forest, most of it too. Heavy forest gives a nasty attack and defense mod to tanks, so we're not going to be heavy on the tanks in this game. But look at all those ruins. Militia could start marching out, clearing areas around the capital, and look, as you can see, we start with mines of various sorts and quite a lot of free folk. Interesting. Let's have a look at those decisions. Our governor wants to execute a relative. Oh, this is a dreadful one. We are going to have to go with sure, why not? Because we want that enforcement to be increased. And government subsidy. Oh, no, not government subsidies. Rule of law.
Aye, aye, sir.
And we will leave that as it is for now. Our first redesign is always a tricky one. Let me have a look at what techs we have. You can see we started high tech, so we don't have side skirts. That's unfortunate. Going back to models, we can see what techs they were designed with. They all, it looks like the tanks are fine. So what is bad? The worst one is probably our infantry, so, or the artillery. Yeah, we're gonna let's redesign this infantry with some armor and a fresh one rather than the crap we have now. Automatic rifle. Combat armor. Yes, sir. We can do that because I started with 4 councils, as you can see. Military Supreme, Economic, Foreign, and Model Design. And let's see, we've got light armor, motorized infantry, and assault infantry for the formations. Generally looks like a fairly good start, and fiddled with the now freshly renamed orders for Tower Hamlets. We've got to massively increase the recruits so we can get some infantry out, allow emergency food, all the good stuff, slightly higher salaries, and we don't need that much of a bonus for the recruits. So yeah. Crank that model design up, because if you're not spending on this, it automatically goes to discovery, so there's not necessarily a lot of reason to split it. And the main thing is, while we have logistics points, you can see the green arrows, let's raise a formation of machine gun infantry. They're very cheap, as you can see from the industrial and metal, because these guys aren't equipped with any armor at all. Same for them, because it's a completely breathable Earth-like planet. It's a very happy time for everybody. Alright, we've raised a half-strength machine gun brigade. That's pretty much it for this turn. We don't actually have any real cards to play. And actually, that reminded me, we do. So let's get 50 political points. Increase taxes. We fail at that. Great. And recruit some junior leaders, because we're going to be expanding the councils very soon, and they just sit there and slowly accumulate experience while we wait. This archaeology effort will be very nice. It finds us an archaeological find, and I think once we take over these sections we'll slap it down and hopefully get some artifacts. That's what everyone's here to see, I'm sure. We could propose peace with the miner, but we don't want to do that because we're going to eat them up. Excellent. Overall, in pretty good shape. Like I said, our first plan, seize these 2 complexes, follow the road onwards from these guys, see if there's any more miners to snap up, and try and find where the other players are. It is a reasonably small map, so you've pretty much seen it all. Yeah. But yeah, it's going to be ridiculous amounts of artifacts coming out of these ruins. Yeah, we're still in good terms with everybody, that's always nice. And look at all these techs. I think the really important one is side skirts, because it makes your tanks a lot tougher, but then again, because of the damn jungle everywhere, we are not going to be using a lot of tanks. Actually, you know what? Well, that is one thing that does not need to be running at full capacity, because we have so much water. Because of the one thing about Shadow Empire is you get water from rainfall. So yeah. Switching quickly over to the projected logistics, we're going to prune up our points for next turn slightly, because we're going to be sending a lot of troops down this road. Let's do that. But you also need to maintain 100 points to all your assets, otherwise they stop producing at full capacity. There we go, prune down. We've still got a lot more logistical projection down this road now. Cool, that's it for this turn. I will see you in the next one.